Welcome to my Action Research final project. It's hard to believe that a little over a year ago, this was me, just a shadow, just a shell of a person. I've been a corporate trainer for several years, and now here I was at a place where I was just unsure of the direction and of the path that I was going to take. I really found myself at a crossroads and was unclear about what I wanted to do next in my career as a trainer. I found myself in a really dark place. I began searching for something, a way to rekindle my passion for teaching. I needed a new path. I researched several programs and found that the EMDT program would be the best one to help me create e-learning courses using emerging technologies. I began the program armed with many questions. We were asked to state a problem as part of our action research. And mine was reduced travel budgets had made it impossible for my organization to conduct face-to-face training courses. I needed to find a way to provide training in an e-learning setting. As I pondered, I began by asking myself if my target audience participated in e-learning, would they be able to master the skills necessary using a simulated and on-demand environment? I had to embark on a journey and look through the research so that I could find the pieces of the puzzle I would need in order to create such an e-learning program for adults. I'm so glad that Andy Levin used his best instructor skills to teach me in MLR how to narrow my focus based on the research, peer-reviewed articles, and current practice and trends in the industry. This really laid the groundwork. In the past, the learning environment was traditionally identified through the use of schools, classrooms, and books, but over time that has truly changed. And Drexler let me know that the learning environment has changed in numerous ways with the emergence of technology. With that implementation, it became very apparent that proper motivation was necessary for students to be effective and engaged in online learning. I didn't want to design a program in which my students would experience frustration. I also needed to add a sound learning theory, so I chose collaborative learning. But that theory has advanced with the use of technology. It is now called computer-based collaborative learning theory. Using this theory would allow me to create a course in which the students and I could participate differently. Content analysis was noted by Thorpe as a way to offer rich media content to help students achieve a greater proficiency. BBL allowed me to see how a concept map could be used to determine media assets using multiple intelligences. And now it was time for my solution. My action research addressed the following. As you can see, question 1 deals with content for the user's experience. Question 2 deals with improving standards to increase usability. It was now time for the ADDIE process, and I'm really glad that EDE helped me to create a written proposal for my Capstone project. Here, all the details were flushed out using the ADDIE process before I even began creating the course. I was really glad to be able to use this Prezi so that I could go through each phase of the development and really understand what I wanted to create for my e-learning course. I had a roadmap for each and everything I needed to do and could go back and make modifications if necessary. I was even able to map out how I was going to use an LMS and then how to evaluate my participants for formative and summative measures. ETC exposed me to many Web 2.0 tools, and then exploring those tools, that's why I chose Schoology. But I also decided to use Prezi to create materials for my e-learning course. I used Captivate since my organization has decided to implement it in our environment in the future. There was a steep learning curve to Captivate, but I was really able to create a course on usability and design standards that focused on navigation and content that was motivating and engaging. I created several introductory videos such as creating a post and then how to navigate through Schoology. Cycle 1 of the course was about usability and design standards for website navigation. With all of the components in place, the target audience received an email from me with the course overview, objectives, and then some additional information how to access the course in Schoology. Upon beginning the course, the target audience was asked to view a Prezi so that they could get an idea of website failure statistics and an understanding of user-centered design. My target audience then participated in several web-based navigation exercises such as the Stroop test, the mouse maze, and the F test. This enabled them to get an understanding of how the brain processes content. Cycle 2. Usability and design standards for website content. In this part of the course, the focus is what you want to tell your audience, what you should say, and what your audience wants to hear. I used the Captivate e-learning module to help my target audience get an understanding of writing content for the web so that they would be able to distinguish standards and also tell the difference between writing for the web and writing for print media. The assignments consisted of several writing exercises, and then the participants were also asked to view websites based on certain criteria to see if it adhered to the principles. They posted their responses in the LMO and then had an opportunity to collaborate with their colleagues. For assessment, I created a rubric, quiz, to gather data, and emailed the results and course completion. About usability and design standards for content. So can you just describe briefly what the exercises were that you participated in?
Comparing different websites based on different standards that you gave us about readability, credibility, how they look, moving about within them, who they're intended for, like the actual content and how you actually write the content well, etc.
By comparing the pre- and post-course results, the data showed a significant level of understanding of course material by the participants. My class on usability and design standards was a success. As I reflect, LMO helped me to understand how to use the LMS to house all my online course components. I also realized how GSM could help me apply gaming principles to assess my students the EMDT way, as opposed to traditional methods such as quizzes. And then FPE has helped me understand how to document that process. These courses have helped me to see what kinds of things I can do differently, since I hope to present my course to my organization for implementation in the future. My future is bright.
Welcome to the Feature Links How to video. Please select the Start button to begin.
And finally, my Capstone project has prepared me to solve a real problem for my organization and any other organization that faces the same issues when offering face-to-face training in these hard economic times. I also feel I am now armed with the knowledge to revamp and create my training materials that will motivate and engage my adult learners, using the latest technology on usability and design standards. My hope is to offer e-learning on a variety of subjects to further any organization's training goals. Thanks to the EMDT program and the full sales staff, I am no longer wandering. I have found my new path, and it leads to e-learning. Teachers have been doing this since the beginning of time, presenting information that is good for the mind. Some things may seem easy, some things may seem hard. Get them to your site, don't be caught off guard. Use